Hey everyone, how are you today? And welcome to my Lunch and Learn. Yes, the Lunch and Learn. Today, we have an exciting topic. And of course, if you're here, you probably already know what the topic is, or you've seen it, that the 10 things you need to know about every customer and what a big deal that is. I want to talk to you about that here in a minute. But first, I want to know something. What are you having for lunch today? I'm a foodie. I love food. I want to know what you're having for lunch. I had my first breakfast and my second breakfast today, and boy, am I hungry for lunch. And I don't know what it's going to be yet, but the minute I get off this thing, that's what that's going to be all about. Is lunch for Joe, right? So anyway, let's go ahead and maybe dive in just a little bit and start talking about this topic about the 10 things you need to know about every customer. Now, I put together these 10 things because I believe that all of us want to keep our customers for a lifetime. What does that mean to an insurance agent? Well, that means a lifetime of residual commissions. What does that mean to a real estate agent? That means the next time they go to buy or sell a home, they're going to call you. And the next time somebody says, hey, do you know a good X? They're going to respond and call you. Now, knowing these 10 things, here's something I just want to talk about. Knowledge is power, right? Or that's what they say. Knowledge is power is what they say. And I have just a quick caveat on that. I believe applied knowledge is power. Because having knowledge and not applying it, yeah, well, it's great to have the knowledge. I got a whole bunch of that useless stuff going on up here. But anyway, applied knowledge is power. How are you doing, Natalie Jo Becker? Good to see you. Marie Benoit, Brad Goodham, good to see you today here too. I believe that. And yes, reoccurring sales. Yes, that's what this whole thing's all about. Now, I have a quick story to tell you. Most of my life, I produced large live events, specifically in the network marketing space. I produced a lot of good quality marketing video. But I met a man named Harvey McKay many, many years ago, maybe 15 years ago. Didn't know him from Adam. And I quickly learned, who he was. He wrote a book called How to Swim with the Sharks Without Getting Eaten Alive. And he had 66 things that he taught everybody that they should know about every one of their customers. Now, I'm like, whoa, 66 things, that's a lot, right? Well, the curious thing is this. The first time I met him was backstage at an event. And we sat down together and basically, had a glass of water before he went on stage. And he basically, I didn't know what was going on, but he was interviewing me and talking to me and getting answers to the 66 things that he thought he should know about me. And it didn't take long. A week later, a package showed up. And it was, an author-signed copy of his book and a little card and a note. And I was like, wow, this guy really paid attention. He really knew who I was and really, I just felt like he added value to my life just like that. Now, because he knew those 66 things, on occasion, I would receive a greeting card with a newspaper tear out with some notes on it, that he was thinking about me. And I thought about that and went, wow, how this guy was so good at what he did. I mean, he interviewed me backstage before he walked on stage, remembered. By the way, Harvey McKay is one of the smartest guys I know as well. But, this whole concept about knowing who your customer is and why you need this knowledge is the topic of today. Now, I pared that down to 10 things and a bonus 5 questions. So we're down to 15 things. I would just say this. I'm going to share these 15 things with you today. And in the end, I'm going to give you a link. And if you'll give me your email address, I will send you the PDF of all of these things along with the written content that goes with it. But it is simple. We want a relationship with our customers. And if we want a relationship, we need the knowledge to have the relationship. Who are they? What makes them tick, right? I mean, how do we create a better relationship with our customers? And having this knowledge is exactly what I want to talk about today. So, like I said, I pared this down to just 10 items with 5 bonus items. So let me go ahead and get to Sharon here so you can see exactly what I am talking about. And here we go. The correct spelling of their name. Yes, that's right. The correct spelling of their name. Have you ever been embarrassed by spelling your customer's name incorrectly? I have to tell you that it's happened to me once, maybe twice, but that's about it. And I got to tell you, here's what I felt like when I spelled somebody's name incorrectly. I was embarrassed. Not only was I embarrassed, it was showing that I had a lack of attention for detail. And it also may be sending a message to that customer or potential customer that that's maybe how I operate my business, right? No bueno. So spelling their name correctly. I like to go double check on a social media platform to make sure, yep, that's the face, that's the name spelled correctly. Got it. I'm in good shape here. I know, folks, this may sound obvious, but it's not to some. And I'm saying spell their name correctly. Now, their home slash work, their home address and the work address is acceptable. Here's the deal. The home address. Let's talk about why you would want a home address versus a work address. What happens in a work address? Well, there's gatekeepers. There's people that sort mail, and where they put it and who opens it, you have no idea if it'll even land on your customer's desk, which is why the home address becomes super, super important. You know, it doesn't matter what you're sending. You want it to reach the recipient. And I believe the home address is a critical piece of information you should know about your customer. I'm not saying that, you shouldn't collect the work address as well. Obviously, if you're going to send them an invoice or whatever's going to happen, you're going to transact business. Having a work address is pretty important as well. But I do believe that the home address is probably the pinnacle. If you want an address, you want a home address. This is my belief. Okay, the birthday. Yes, the birthday. Now, a lot of you know I love birthday marketing, and it is a big deal. It's a big deal in business. It's a big deal to friendships. It's a big deal to family that you'll celebrate their birthdays. We all know this. This is common sense, common knowledge, common sense stuff, right? So why? What are you going to do with this? You're going to celebrate their birthday. I'm going to give you a statistic, and I've asked a lot of people this question. How many birthday cards did you get on your birthday? 2, 3, 1, 2, or 3. I mean, literally, that is the answer I get more often than anything. Imagine being one of those. Would it create a relationship with your customer that you don't have now? Absolutely. And that is the whole deal. I'm giving you these 10 things because I believe that if you're going to create a relationship with your customer, that you have to change what you're doing and how you're doing it. If you're already collecting this information, good on you. And I would suggest that maybe in the comments, that maybe you share one of those questions that if I don't have it and you think it's a critical top 10, share it. Maybe somebody can make an adjustment to the top 10 and how they do it. But the birthday is such a big deal. You need to have the birthday. Their phone number. I know, Captain Obvious, right? Their phone number. Yes, you need their cell phone number. Their cell phone number. If you want a direct link, a direct connection to your customer, their cell phone number is important. Anytime that you want to call or text, that option is there if you have the cell phone number. If you do not have it, you are missing a big, big piece. A relationship is what you're after with your customer. Folks, if you're after a relationship with someone, you need to communicate with them. And having a cell phone number is probably the very, very first step. It is a big deal to communicate, and it's a big deal to have a good relationship with your customer. And to do that, I believe that this is a big deal. All right, now let's get on to the next one. Here we go. Their life partner, spouse's name. Are they married, right? Knowing if your customer has a life partner is important. Don't really care, if there's a marriage certificate involved. You just need to know if they have a life partner. What is their spouse's name and who, how long have they been together? Any information you can get, folks, like I said, applied knowledge is power. And to have the spouse's name, to understand they have a spouse, is also knowledge you need to have a lifelong relationship with this person, for sure. Okay, number 6, do they have kids? Now, I had 5 kids myself, so that's a whole bunch, right? And I think that a lot of the folks who did business with me knew that pretty much probably about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon till about 6, 7 in the evening, that was kind of a no-fly zone for me because I dedicated that time to my children. I picked them up from school. I took them to soccer practice, fencing practice, football practice, whatever was going on. That was time that I spent with my children. And understanding, somebody who has children's, it's a big, big deal when you understand the source of joy that comes from being a parent and what time it takes and the dedication it takes to actually, do something like that. It's a big deal for you to understand if they have children or don't have children. And if so, how many? I mean, find out as much information as you can. That knowledge, that applied knowledge is power. I got to tell you, there's a lot of instances where this stuff will come up and be of a huge, huge benefit to you, a huge benefit. And by the way, if you've had any experience with any of these things, put it in the comments. Let us know that, you've actually, did I miss number 5? Well, number 5, Karen, number 5 was, are they married or not? That was number 5. What? Number 5, were they married or not? Sorry, I'm going to go back. Their spouse's name, are they married? That was it. Okay, number 6, do they have kids? And by the way, like I said, I will give you a link and I will send you a PDF of all of this so you can have not just the 10 things, but the reasons behind having the 10 things. And of course, the 5 bonus questions that you should probably be asking as well. But let's go on to number 7. Did they serve in the military? Yes, did they serve in the military? Now, folks, listen, I served in the military and we're all proud of the fact that, we served, but most veterans don't boast about that. That's not something that, we would boast about. But for those who understand that you served and recognize that you served, there's a whole different relationship with that person that has respect for what you did, for your service. And that is the big deal around understanding if they serve. Now, I got to throw this out there. You need to know what branch they served in as well. Serving in the military is one thing, but understanding where they served and what they did is also another piece of information that is super valuable to keep you out of trouble and to actually make a better relationship. So, the last thing a United States Marine wants to be called is a sailor. So, don't be making those mistakes because they can be costly to your relationship, potentially. I just want to say that, there's a fun rivalry between all the branches and understanding the branch of service they served in and what they did. It can be really, really critical for you. It could give you an understanding of how they operate, how they function, and where they've been in their past. And, what is a relationship anyway? Yeah, it's common understanding, common knowledge about another person that you have as a friend, a colleague, a business relationship, a love life, anything. It all requires, this type of knowledge. And if they served in the military, this is a big piece. There is a Veterans Day that happens. And recognizing that person on Veterans Day, even just via a text that just says, thank you for serving is enough, folks. You could go further than that, but I got to tell you, these are all things. Everything I'm giving you today is just something that helps you solidify a relationship or create a relationship where you may not have had it, in the past. So with that being said, military service, which branch, it is a big deal. At Mailbox Power, we actually have things for veterans. And I think every branch is recognized, with the exception of Space Force. I don't know about that one. I haven't seen that one yet, but tons of stuff out there, for our veterans. And that, it's a big deal. It really, really is a big deal. Okay, now, what type of business? This may be obvious. What type of business are they in? And why would you need to know that? I got to tell you, the ultimate act of kindness in business, the ultimate act of kindness in business is this. It's not just kindness, it's trust. If you give someone a lead for their business, let's just say my friend or my customer sells insurance, auto insurance, and I have somebody who says, hey, you know anybody good that sells auto insurance? And you give them that name and they get a sale. That's the ultimate act in kindness for someone who is in business and a business friendship. It says a lot. I don't give away, I don't give away leads unless I trust somebody, and most people don't. So knowing what type of business they're in so you can provide leads is a big, big deal. And folks, if you want a solid relationship with somebody in business, this is a big monster deal for sure. And providing a lead is no sweat off your back. It's not something you have to do daily, monthly, or weekly, monthly, or even annually. But when something comes up, like I said, you are acting upon something, and it's the ultimate in kindness in a business relationship, and not the ultimate act of kindness, but it says you trust them enough to pass a friend off to give as a lead. That's a big, big monster deal as well. So that's number 8. Number 9, yes, their religious beliefs. Folks, do not embarrass yourself during the holidays. Do not embarrass yourself during the holidays by sending someone of the Jewish faith a Merry Christmas card. It does not pan out well for you. You weren't paying attention, right? And there are other things that come into play with religious beliefs. You know, religions practice their religion on different days of the week. And for you to have that understanding, when should I call? When should I text? When should I not call? When should I call? And what is it that they believe in? I believe that today is second day of Rosh Hashanah, and if you know your customer is of the Jewish faith, then understanding that calling them is probably not the greatest thing in the world for you to do today or yesterday. But once it's over, that holiday is past, then back and re-engage for business. And it really depends on the religion, but just understanding if they practice a religion, you know what I mean. How do you do this? Now, Judy, you just asked how does one approach this? Judy, it's pretty simple. All you have to do is ask, hey, do you practice a certain religion? That's it. There's no threat with that question. There's nothing implied. Is do you practice a specific religion? And then, yes. And then of course you can send them articles. There's all kinds of things. Listen, this is just merely understanding your customer, understanding what makes them tick, and putting you on the same page, allowing you to communicate with them on things that are outside of the business relationship that you have, which is what solidifies those long-term relationships, right? And that's what we're all after, is a long-term relationship. Now, the last thing of the 10 items, what are their hobbies and interests? Now, this is big. This is such a big deal. When you understand what somebody does with their free time on the weekend, what their hobbies are, what their interests are, and you are surfing, the web, you are surfing social media, and you find something that's either funny, interesting, of value to your customer, how long does it actually take to copy a link, paste, and click send in Messenger, a text, an email, something that says, hey, I just found this and I know you like this stuff. So boom, here it is. Hope you enjoy it. It takes seconds, folks, seconds. And if you're going to invest in a relationship, that's what you need to do. I'm giving you items that give you a lifelong customers. Now, of course, I'm the CEO of Mailbox Power. So why wouldn't I want to give you other things that you could do as well? Every one of the things that I have mentioned, all 10 of these items that I've mentioned, all have, possibilities and for you to interact with those folks, to those customers, using the mailbox. If they're a veteran and you send them a Veterans Day card with their branch of service proudly displayed on the front of the card, that card might stick around for quite some time. If their religious beliefs and you're able to send a card and a gift during their religious holidays, you've recognized that. You're changing your relationship. It's no longer just transactional, right? This is a big deal. And yes, I'm watching the comments, and yes, an email address is super important, folks. An email address is super important. You should have that. It is business, to pick up an email address and a phone number. And I would highly suggest that, you do have their email address. I do believe that's probably the one thing I can find on pretty much everywhere is the email address, which is why I didn't mention it here in the top 10. Even though I do believe you should have it, you're absolutely correct. So with that being said, the next thing I want to do is I have some bonus questions I wanted to throw at you as well. And here they are. Who is the competitor? Who is your competitor? Is what I'm really asking. Who is your competitor? Who do you compete with? When you ask your customer, hey, who's my competition? You're going to find out pretty quick. They're going to go, oh my goodness, this person wants to know who their competitor is. Why do they want to know that? Well, anybody in their right mind is going to go, well, they want to know that because they want to know who they're competing with. They want to make sure they watch who they're competing with and what's going on. Political beliefs. Some of the items I've listed may be, taboo for some of you. I wouldn't make them taboo. Their political beliefs, sometimes you don't even have to ask the question. You could go on their Facebook page. You'll find some of these folks who love to talk about politics online. You'll find it. But understanding what it is, the last thing in the world you want to do is make a mistake by talking about politics to someone who doesn't care, or talking about the wrong politics to someone who is of the opposite understanding, so to speak. Politics is interesting, and it really drives decisions in our nation and many nations. And I think for you to understand what their political beliefs are, I'm not saying you have to agree with them. I'm just saying you need to understand them so you don't make a mistake by talking about or having the wrong topic of discussion. Favorite sports teams. Folks, this is a no-brainer too. Their favorite sports teams. Why would you want to know what their favorite sports teams are? Well, a lot of us, we do love sports. Some of us, like myself, yeah, I'm watching football on Sunday, maybe on a Thursday, not specifically on a Monday, but I do watch. I have a couple of favorite teams. I don't know that I could pick one. I've always chosen to live in cities where there's no professional football team, and here I am in Salt Lake City with no professional football team. I just left Las Vegas where the Raiders showed up, I think, 2 years before I left. And folks, favorite sports teams, just knowing if you're watching sports and you see that your customer's favorite team did X, and you text them and go, wow, that was a great, X, that I saw today. Congrats on your team. Again, you're just letting them know that you care about them more than just about business. There you have it. All right. Where are they from? Born, grew up. You're going to learn a lot about folks when you understand where they're from, where they were born, and where they grew up. I grew up in Southern California. And for people who know Southern California, people who know things about Southern California, the food, the culture, the beach, everything that's there, the mountains, they would understand a lot more about me. If they had no idea where I grew up, then they would have nothing in conversation with me in regards to that. And of course, conversational interest. You just never know what folks are interested in. I myself, did you know that I have an absolute infatuation and love affair with a camera? I have cameras from back in the 1800s, late 1800s, early 1900s. I have more cameras than I can shake a stick at, literally well over 100 cameras. I love them. Why do I love them? Because it stops time, right? It captures a moment in time that gets saved forever. And I love history. I love that I can capture a moment in time and it's saved and forever. Yes, I can do that on my cell phone now, but there's something about a camera in my hands that really trips my trigger, folks. And if you understand that about me, that can bring up a whole new topic of interest to talk about. when, we may be on the phone, sitting down, whatever, or you find something about my favorite brand, the Leica. You go, whoa, I saw that Leica came out with a new blah, blah, blah. And, I just wanted to share this with you. I'm sure you've seen it, but it looks pretty cool. Changes the relationship. And that's, what this whole thing and everything I'm talking about today is all about. It's just understanding your customers, understanding what makes them tick. Getting into a relationship with a customer means you need to know who they are. And if you don't know who they are, then, well, maybe you're not really looking for a relationship. Maybe you're just looking for a business transaction. Mailbox Power, we are the ones who help you solidify a relationship, who make sure through our thoughtfulness engine that everyone you do business with knows that you care about them. You love them. You celebrate their birthday. You celebrate the right holidays for them. You are able to celebrate if they're a veteran or not. There's so many things that you can do with the mailbox and Mailbox Power to help you with all your relationships. Anyway, folks, I am going to do something right now. I'm going to put a link in the comments. 1 second here. Let me see if I can grab this thing. I'm going to put a link in the comments. If you would like a copy of today's presentation and all of these 10 items you must know, click on that link and I will send you a PDF so you can have a copy of this. These 10 things are absolutely amazing. And like I said, if you have them, you have the knowledge to further your relationship with your customer. Thank you for being here today. I really, really appreciate this. If you want to watch this again, go to youtube.com/mailbox power. And please subscribe, smash that subscribe button for me. I'd really appreciate that. Folks, I appreciate your time that you've given me today. I know it's your most valuable asset, and you just gave me 26 minutes, almost 27 minutes. Because this is a lunch and learn, I don't want them to take too long. So I think 27 minutes is just about perfect. If you're on Facebook, you may not see that link in some of the groups. Jump on over to YouTube and you'll find it there for sure. If you're on Facebook, I believe on the Mailbox Power page, you'll see that link in the comments as well. But I appreciate each and every one of you today. Have a great day, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye, everybody.